All right, I'm voting for Vivek Ramaswamy as it stands right here. We need somebody with some balls. I've had enough of a lack of sack. The show was going to be called Sack Up. Apparently Fox didn't want it to be. But that's what this show needs to be. Calling out people for lack of sack. And Ramaswamy does not lack for sack. He just went scorched earth on a little girl. Hi, I'm with the Washington Post. You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy, is what this little girl reporter for the Washington Post said. And Ramaswamy made her regret it easily. Easily. And then another little report. Hi, I'm with the Washington Post. They gave me this job because I'm a female. And then somebody tried him on crime. Let's go to Ramaswamy destroying this little girl reporter over, my brain just went dead, excuse me, over white supremacy. Let's hear Ramaswamy.
You didn't say that you condemn white supremacy, though.
I'm not going to recite some catechism for you. I'm against vicious racial discrimination in this country. So I'm not pledging allegiance to your new religion of modern wokeism, which absolutely fits the test. I'm not going to bend the knee to your religion. I'm sorry. I'm not asking you to bend the knee to mine, and I'm not going to bend the knee to yours. But do I condemn vicious racial discrimination? Yes, I do. Am I going to play your silly game of gotcha? No, I'm not. And frankly, this is why people have lost trust. And I know you're going to go print the headline tomorrow. I already know this. We already know how your game works. Vivek Ramaswamy refuses to condemn white supremacy because you asked a stupid question. The reality is, I condemn vicious racial discrimination in this country, but the kind of vicious and systematic racial discrimination we see today is discrimination on the basis of race in a very different direction. You want to know what the best way is to end discrimination on the basis of race? Stop discriminating on the basis of race. Do that, and we're going to move this country forward. And I don't care whether you're black or white or brown or anything in between. That's how we're going to unite this country. You people have been responsible for dividing this country to a breaking point, creating a projection of national division. I meet people from the south side of Chicago to meetings like this one of every shade of melanin, multiple, from man to woman, doesn't make a difference, who are hungry for reviving unity in this country. And you, with your catechism that you try to get to politicians to whatever fake headline you're going to print on the basis of this conversation tomorrow, that's what's dividing this country to a breaking point. Shame on you.
How good is that? He's right. Oh, we see it all the time. I mean, we want our own little headlines. I mean, we see it in sports. We see it in politics. Ramaswamy did not disavow. I asked him specifically about white supremacy, and he didn't disavow it. That's the headline. He just gave you the best answer you're ever going to hear. How are you not going to vote for him? Seriously. Now, here's what's happening. They know Ramaswamy makes sense, so they're trying to push him out. Who have you seen lately everywhere? Everywhere. Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley, you can turn on and they're talking about Nikki Haley. They're trying to push Nikki Haley. They're pushing and pushing and pushing. Why? Because Ramaswamy's dangerous. He's the best candidate to be president at this point. Now, that may change, and I reserve the right to change. But as I sit here right now, he's like Trump was back before he got elected in 2016. I don't give a damn if you're on the left. I don't give a damn if you're on the right. If you're not just beholden to a party and you actually pay attention to what somebody says, there's no other choice but to vote for. Now, I get it. Things come in. I understand that my allegiance to my party, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I don't even know if I have a party. I just pay attention to who the hell says what, who the hell means what, and who the hell does what. But honest to God, that was one of the greatest speeches ever in terms of modern journalism, politics, headlines, gotcha, ever. And this is another one. This is a discussion because, again, everybody's trying to play gotcha with Ramaswamy. This is a discussion, a question on crime. And they wanted it to go black folks being victims. Here's Ramaswamy.
Well, look, Jussie Smollett is a made-up case of white supremacy. I mean, that's the real answer to this question. If you think about what happened in Waukesha or in other cases, there's a selective disclosure of the number of cases that the mainstream media frets about versus, you want to think about how many You know, if people really gave a damn about black lives in this country, they would be talking about the number of black deaths in places like the inner city of Chicago or elsewhere. But somehow people in this country don't care about black-on-black crime. They only look with a magnifying lens after the one case that allows them to prove a political point. So, yes, I actually do care about protecting the lives of Americans. And if so, we would be supporting policies rather than clearing the jails and defunding the police. We would actually be standing for what lifts up all Americans, have police officers to do their jobs without fear of being sued for looking over their shoulders and doing the wrong thing. Nobody seems to care about that, or simply more interested in making a political point or a stunt out of the one instance. If you go to the federal law enforcement tables of black on black, black on Asian, Asian on black, white on black crime, it doesn't tell a story of systemic racism at all. It tells a story of violent crime going up for all races in this country. How about we actually address that? And for places I've traveled, including from the inner cities of this country, I think that's what many of the victims who are suffering actually care about. People who are cloistered in some sort of East Coast coffee shop or whatever that want to feel better about themselves to fill their own vacuum of purpose in their own lives might feel better about chanting BLM or some other slogan. But I don't think that that's actually doing much to advance American lives or black lives in this country. And I reject that mythology.
That's so good. Because he's right. He's right. Every African-American that I know is like, hey, you think anybody wants to be a victim of this crap? You don't think we want this cleaned up? He's absolutely right. Go follow Reverend Charles Harrison, the only guy with any stones. Now, our boy Doyle tries to chime in there and make it about himself like he's a hero, but don't pay attention to that nonsense. Pay attention to Charles Harrison or pay attention to my friend Reggie Jones and others who will tell you, you think we want as black people killing each other? We got to get to the problem of our problem. We got to get to a homeless, a fatherless. You know, Charles Harrison, a reverend here in Indy, put it out, 74% African-American kids fatherless. Man, nobody came at him now. All of a sudden, the tide is turning. Remember a couple years ago, Tony Dungy said that, and the world went crazy. Obama, the savior of all things, said that, and nobody gave a rat's ass. Well, guess what? Now you can say it because it's a real problem. And Ramaswamy saying these things is awesome. Yeah, if you don't like Ramaswamy, that's on you. I get it. But if you don't like these words, I can't help you. And maybe he said something 5 years ago that you don't like. I don't care. Or maybe he did something you don't like. I don't care. That's the guy to vote for. That right there. You know, maybe you're just presidents against his name. Well, hell, a few years after 9/11, we elected a guy whose middle name was Hussein. So that ain't the problem. I mean, just stop with the stupid. And let's get down to real brass tacks. Like, people are still being idiots about Claudine Gay. Well, black woman, fired. Racism, shut up. Plagiarist, fired. Anti-Semite, fired. Put her students on her campus at Harvard in jeopardy, fired. You do all that as a president, you're going to get fired. I don't give a damn if you're black or white or whatever. And frankly, the white lady at Penn, fired.